Hey everybody. Hopefully this music's not too loud. Welcome back to Factorio. I'm Joe Mama, your host. This is Factorio 1.0. This is us playing Factorio as earnestly as we can and celebrating the release of the game as a full game, version 1.0. How awesome is that? So, where we left off here was we had just finished our oil refinery and we'd finished our first train, which should be tooling by here shortly, and we've got a mediocre oil operation going, and that's very cool. But I wanted to show you guys something, and let me see if I can actually. I was going to actually call up a window to show it, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll actually display it. Oh, there's the train. I'll actually display it. I'll edit it in. So I'm just going to pretend it's on the screen right now. So check out this cool illustration. This illustration is out of World War Z, the book. I was thinking about talking about World War Z and what an awesome game it is. And again, I sure hope this music isn't like terribly loud. I may have to reduce the volume a little bit. In fact, let me see if I can do that. Yeah, the crazy thing is you can't like adjust it on the fly. A little bit. It's a little bit down, but I'll leave it at that. Okay, so yeah, so normally the book doesn't have illustrations, but it does have this one in the beginning. And like I said, I was thinking about 7 Days to Die, and I remembered World War Z kind of discussed in the book, and so this picture, I just dug through the book, kind of flipped over and looked at some stuff, and saw this illustration. I'm like, oh man, I love that picture. This is just like the coolest picture ever that you could just imagine for this book. And so the story behind this picture, the picture itself, is that the book doesn't have illustrations, but Max Brooks, well, I guess when he released the first printing of the book, he put out some sort of request for anybody who wanted to draw a Coolio drawing, and whoever had the most Coolio drawing and submitted it would actually get that drawing input, get that drawing into later versions of the book, later printings of the book, and that's what happened here. And to give you background, so I want to give credit to the person responsible, and I want to say the name is Peterson, something Peterson, but it's not my drawing. I want to give credit to them. But it just so illustrates the book. It really, there's a particular scene in the book, and I've said this before, the book, there's no actual, the action that's described in the book is the result of somebody's interview, and somebody describes it. And in this case, they're talking to a survivor of this particular incident, which was the Battle of Yonkers in either New York or New Jersey, can't remember. I think it's right in between the two states, or at least the battle took place. And it's just to kind of give you some background here and how great Max Brooks is as far as a writer. He describes this battle where the U.S. Army is trying to, it's humans against zombies, but here's the, units of the U.S. Army, and having served in the Army, I can actually kind of say that his portrayal is very true in that, which makes me kind of think he served at least some, or talked to some people who did, because this picture really illustrates, like, here's this army that could defeat any other army on the planet, and we've demonstrated that in war over the last however many years. But all these things that work against other armies don't work against zombies, and this was proved because, so the U.S. Army does what it does, and it shows up with full MOP gear, which is the chemical gear. It shows up with tow missiles and tanks and things that can destroy other vehicles, and MLRS, multi-launch rocket systems, Apache helicopters, things that go boom and destroy enemy vehicles and installations. But it worked in the Gulf, but now it's just zombies, just people, or undead people. And explosions work against people because the concussive force just destroys their bodies, but when those bodies are full of holes already, that it doesn't work. And they realize this kind of too late, and they're all wearing these gas masks and helmets and body armor, which, again, it's great on the battlefield with another army that's using chemical weapons, but they didn't understand how the virus works and how, in reality, all this stuff just doesn't do any good against zombies. In fact, it makes your own job harder. And so, like, the tanks all brought anti-tank rounds, and the Apaches brought anti-tank missiles. But really, what they needed was like flechette rounds, if you want to call them that. We call them beehive rounds. They're these rounds that are just full of darts. Full of little darts, thousands of darts, and they work against personnel and would work against something like a zombie where you got to get a headshot. And they could use the tanks like giant shotguns. But the way the soldier who survived the battle describes it, he's like, no, we had none of that. We just had stuff for destroying other tanks, and it was useless against zombies. You shoot a zombie center mass, and you need to go for headshots according to the story. And these guys were like just having the hardest time trying to subdue them, and they were failing miserably. And you could see the panic of look in these poor guys' eyes. So, and then to make matters worse, all these explosions from all the stuff that they're setting off, all the things going boom, it developed another terrible phenomenon. And what they didn't realize is that when the virus first hit, a lot of people, when their loved ones were starting to turn into zombies, they didn't do the recommended thing. You see someone turning, and you're supposed to kill them and then burn the body. But they were just like, well, no, I can't shoot my father. I can't shoot my mother, my brother, my sister. And they would just like lock them in the basement or chain them somehow, just lock them in the basement. And still as zombies. And they eventually turn to zombies, and they're locked in the basement. Well, all the explosions were acting as a bunch of little earthquakes. And these guys, like illustrated here on the right of the picture here, this guy's getting overwhelmed by two zombies from behind because these family members were now, because of all the explosions, shaken free, and they were starting to attack the troops from behind. And they had no idea that was going on. So it's just a great picture. It's freaking awesome. And I'm a fan of good art, and when I draw, I like to use pencil art. So I like to use pencils. I don't use colors. So this to me is like perfect illustration. So, and also with this picture, just kind of remind me to tell you that, yeah, 7 Days to Die is going to still be happening, but I'm going to do it. I've actually recorded day 3, but good news is I managed to change the settings thanks to, and I can't think of his name. If I do, I'll try to put it in the description. Told me that you can indeed change the setting, and it will affect subsequent play of the game. And I changed it, so now the days are 120 minutes. So now I've got a day 3 that's 2 hours long, which is great, but I've got to do some creative editing to kind of bring that down a little bit. But yeah, so that's coming. I just, got into the Factorio groove, and so I got to get around to editing that, and we'll get that underway. Also, one last thing is, really, this is just sort of a string on a finger here as well to remind me to talk about something. And I'll go ahead and take the picture down now. And I wanted to let you guys know that we have reached, as of today, let me check, where are we at for science? As of today, we have reached 94 subscribers. I mean, that's pretty cool. Hang on, checking the oil levels here. We might have, we're going to have to make more tanks. Yeah, we're going to have to make more tanks. We've reached 94 subscribers. And for those of you who subscribed and trusted me with your entertainment needs, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit because that's a crazy thing. In that when I started doing this, or some of you know, this isn't my first attempt at YouTube. I've done it before. Like, if you look at my channel right now, it's going to say that I did, it started in, 2019, I think, and late 2019 at that, and that is just not true as far as YouTube goes. And for me, I actually started in 2015, and but family reasons, I shut the channel down and I kind of overreacted a little bit with it, and I lost a lot of video data and everything. Then I restarted the channel when I realized my mistake. So I've gone through the initial sub 100, the below 100 sub grind before, and now I'm seeing it again the second time. And what was I going to do? Is going to make more tanks. That's right. I have done the grind before, and before, when I was below 100 subs, it was a long, tough grind to get to 100 subscribers. That was very grindy. In fact, it's kind of a known thing among YouTubers that the hardest thing you're going to do is make that, oh, that's right, here's the tanks. Right. The hardest thing you're going to do is do that first 100 grind. That's the first 100 is the hardest. And that was the case. It took me forever. Lots of video releasing. I think I did 300 or 400 videos before actually reaching 100 subscribers. Well, there's something different that happened this time. That, again, for those of you who want to do YouTube or maybe are just starting out, I'll give you a little bit of advice for what little bit that I can give you, because I'm no expert, but I did learn a thing or three, is that one thing I did this time that I didn't do last time is I have what you might call evergreen content. Stuff that, it's popular not because the game is popular, but because it continues to have value for people well after the video is done and posted. So, like, when I posted before, nobody knew who I was. What is it about my videos that's going to make them come to my channel? I better make some damn good videos. And quite frankly, I'm no expert in any game to do that. So I've got no place to say, oh yeah, come to my channel and watch my awesome stuff. Why should they believe me? I mean, there's enough people who are actually good that they don't need to come to me. So, and they didn't. There just wasn't a lot of interest in my channel at that time because I wasn't bringing anything of value. Well, so it seemed like every subscriber who subscribed to the channel, it was like, for me, I'm glad that they did, but if I really had to produce, and hope the algorithm shows my stuff off, and hope, and it's like every subscriber was hard fought to come to the channel. It was a hard sell to get subscribers to the channel, but eventually they did, and that's fine. That's great. But this time around, I'm sitting at 94, and I'm a little bit stunned by that because I've produced some, and the interest in the videos I've been producing lately has been lukewarm at best. I mean, single-digit views and all that. It's not, I would not call it massive interest in the videos. But yet the subscribers keep coming in, and I'm thankful for that. But it's a little puzzling. And the only thing I can think of is that this time around, lessons that I learned is, based on lessons that I learned, is that I did some tutorials, and so I've given my channel some value to a large group of people, or relatively large, and a couple of games, threw some tutorials up there just to see what would happen. I learned something, and I threw them out there. And again, I wouldn't exactly say they've been viral videos, but they've been very, very well received compared to my other stuff, and I mean, upwards of 13,000 views on those videos, with I guess that's about right. About 13,000 view on those tutorial videos. And we're going to... I'm just kind of farting around right now. Let's check and see why the lubricant isn't being made. And... Oh, wait. Is lubricant requiring... Oh, maybe it requires blue science. We got to make some blue science, don't we? Oh. So anyway, I think a lot of recent subscribers have come because of those videos, and I hope to, which is great. Those videos are continuing to get lots and lots of views, but you know, I've got less than 100 subscribers, but a video with 5,000 views. I mean, that's pretty unusual. If you can do that, then that means people outside your realm are finding value in your stuff, and they want to be a part of your realm. Those that sub want to be a part of it. So I'm grateful for that. And if you're watching this and you're one of those people, thank you so much. But I also appreciate your feedback. If you're looking at the stuff that I've been releasing and be like, well, this doesn't meet my expectations, let me know. Because at this point, I have very little in the way of feedback as far as what people are seeing, what they want to see, and I'm okay with... Oh yeah, see, there's the blue science. We got to make some blue science. What are we required for blue science? So if people have expectations that they'd like to see met, let me know, and we can... maybe we can... I saw my buddy Board Bob kind of reaching out to his people for feedback, and I kind of agree that I don't do that much. Ask for feedback, and that would be good. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to make mining machines. Feedback as far as what y'all want to see. So I realize people are giving me and trusting me with their subscriptions, and they're putting me on their YouTube feeds. So I owe you guys, A, thank you, and B, well, let me know if what would folks like to see? I'm okay if you look at my channel and say, yeah, I associate you with factory type games. That's fine. That's great, because I love factory type games, and I am more than happy to do it. But anyway, yeah, so I absolutely invite your feedback on that. So here's what we're going to do. We need to think about getting blue science up and running, and why do I hit the map? Let's hit the T. Actually, no, let's hit the E. So for blue science, we're going to need sulfur, advanced circuits, which means plastic, and then engine units. So plastic, we're going to need petroleum and coal. There's a coal patch very close. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a coal patch close to the refinery. Then... So for sulfur, we're going to need water and petroleum gas. So I'm kind of thinking that working with the mining machines down here, that we will go ahead and try to tap this coal patch right here. And we'll start working on plastic. Or, yes, that plastic? Yeah, plastic is what we need for advanced circuits. Yes, is that what I said? Because I'm so old that I forget stuff. Plastic bar, yes, coal and petroleum gas. So I just added more tanks to the refinery, which, get used to that. You're going to have to do that lots. Because when you have a product like, when you have a machine that produces a product like a refinery does, it has multiple products, and if any one of those products runs into a bottleneck and can't get out and starts to overfill and get plugged, then it will stop production of all other products, if that makes sense. All other products that refinery would produce will be hosed because of a bottleneck in one of them. So if we fill the tanks that have heavy oil will no longer be produced, and neither will light oil and petroleum gas. So we need to make sure that there is always room for growth, even if we're not using that particular product. So welcome to petroleum gas production. And you're going to find that petroleum gas gets produced, gets consumed at a higher rate than the rest. So be prepared for petroleum gas to always be in short supply, while the other petroleum products are going to be probably overstocked. So the best thing you can do is find a product that you can make with all three. Like, let's see, we could make solid fuel with heavy oil, but more than likely we're going to make lubricant, and we don't have lubricant just yet because we haven't researched it. But lubricant's made with heavy oil, and then we're going to make solid fuel with light oil, and then just about everything else with petroleum gas. And let's go ahead and connect this coal to our power grid. And then we're going to find out where we're at power-wise. So, alright, I know you're over here somewhere. There we go. And let's actually drop a light or two here. So that way if we come through with a tank or something, we'll spot it. Okay, so we got the coal. So we also need to think water. Now, what I'd also like to do... Oh, you know what? Hang on. I said we were going to check the power, and I didn't do that. Okay, so we got about 8 megawatts of wiggle room, so we'll keep going. Alright, now we're going to bring the coal down here, and we'll probably have a couple of chemical plants to make sulfur. I did get chemical plants, didn't I? Yeah, I got 3. I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to ratios at this time. But I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, no. Remember the inputs here are going to be for sulfur. It's going to be water and petroleum gas. For sulfur, water and petroleum gas, and then for plastic, it's going to be coal and petroleum gas. Okay, so we're actually going to need more chemical plants. How many can we make? At the present, exactly 0. So let's go ahead, get some more. Plastic bars are going to be made in chemical plants. Sulfur is going to be made in chemical plants. So just kind of get used to the fact that we've got another factory that's not a factory. We've got another assembly machine, another common facility that we're going to have to make a few of that is not actually an assembly machine, and that is a chemical plant. There is something that we can do, but I don't know if it's researched yet, to be honest. And that is oil cracking. I'm not entirely sure that is researched just yet. I'm not sure if that's something that comes in later, or maybe we already have the ability to do it. I'm looking at the icons. Maybe we do. So actually, you know, one way we can find out. Let's go ahead and drop a chemical plant just for gits and shiggles, which we have 3 of. Let's go ahead and set that down. What's the recipe? Oh yeah, there we go. We do. We have cracking. Good. We're gonna need it, because this is how we're going to help cross-level our tanks. Because like I said, we are going to use... What were we short on? We're short on iron plates. We are going to use the living hell out of chemical plants and petroleum gas. Petroleum gas, that's what I meant to say. We are going to use petroleum gas like crazy. And let's go... Where's that... I know I set up a crate to collect iron plates, but I'm not seeing it. Huh. Alright. That doesn't seem like me, but I guess I did. I actually built this without a crate. So, alright then. Well, we're going to fix that. Just for you, mangled pork, I'm going to set up my iron chest. Yeah, so if anybody watches Mangled Pork, fella named Bentham, which I only found out just recently. He's a big Factorio guy, but only just found out recently that he goes by the name Bentham, or Mangled Pork. His last name, I think, is Bentham, and that's how everybody refers to him. But, which when you spell it, spells out bent ham, which is why he calls himself Mangled Pork. So, never knew that. I always thought it was a strange name. So, let's go ahead and make a bunch of chemical plants. So, oh, is that what I just put? No. That's not the one I just put down. Oh, son of a biscuit. Well, there we go. It was there. I just didn't see it. All right, chemical plants. Let's go down south and set them up. And we're also, oh, you know what else? Yeah, we're also going to need these pumps. Let's go ahead. We've got 3 of them so far. Let's make one more. And let's also grab some green circuits. And we're going to make some logic circuits. And I'll explain that as well. Because when you do oil cracking, there is a thing I like to do to kind of keep things. Like I said, I want to cross-level it, but I don't want to turn all my light oil into petroleum gas, and I don't want to turn all my heavy oil into light oil. So we're going to use logic circuits to keep that from happening. So let's set that up. And then once we get that set up, I feel comfortable starting on our production of advanced circuits and hopefully blue science. Okay, so I left some space in between these for a reason. So let's go ahead. Let's first start with the, let's see, where are we at? Let's first start with the heavy oil to light oil. We're going to start with 3 chemical plants. It'll probably end up being more. But let's see. What's our situation for pipes? I didn't even think of that, but we're going to have to make a bunch, aren't we? Our pipe situation is pretty good, so we'll let that go. We're going to crack heavy oil into light oil. And then, let's see. We have 2 inputs. When you crack oil in this game, maybe in real life, I don't know how it works. I am not an expert in petrochemical engineering. Okay, so let's do this. And let's go ahead, connect the water that way. Actually, I'll connect it this way also. And then let's connect the oil to here. And then it's going to come to here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a pump. Where is it? Where are the pumps? Right here. We're going to put an inline pump right here. Okay, that is going to pump the heavy oil into here. But first, let's see, we're going to have to run some power, obviously. And let's see, run one more down here. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw some lights down. And, well, where are we at for water? How's our water look? Our water doesn't look that terrible, but we're going to give it another, job. So this could be interesting. I don't know how much this is actually going to use. Let's see, right here. And we'll bring it this way. Okay. So now we've got water connected. And now immediately these plants start cracking the oil, cracking the heavy oil. We do... Oh, that's interesting. That's new. So it tells you what the whole system... This tank has 13,000, but the whole system has 112,000. And look at that decimal number right there. Oh, that... Oh, I think I just had I think I just had a freaking nerdgasm. That's awesome. I've never seen that before. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. No, we don't want that, but we do want some green wire. Let's go ahead and do a 5 count on that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to run the green wire to the pump. Okay? It's going to run between the pump and the tank. So here's how this is going to work. We're going to set the enabled condition for this pump. And right now, matter of fact, I can't really disconnect it now. It's going to read the contents of this tank, which right now has about 14,000. But I don't want it to take the entire contents of the tank. I want it to leave at least 5,000 in the tank. So what we're going to do... Actually, let's make it 7. Let's go ahead, set this condition. The enabled condition is that. Let's see, for the oil over here, heavy oil, it reads less than... Or I'm sorry, more than. It's got to read more than. And let's go ahead and make this amount 7,000. Okay, set. Boom. Go. So that pump will only operate if there is 7,000 worth of stuff in this tank. Let me make sure I did that right. If the heavy oil is greater than 7,000, okay. And right now it's not doing anything, and I'm not entirely sure why. Oh, because it's got nowhere to go. Interesting. Okay, so the pipes are full, so let's go ahead and connect it. And connect it. There we go. So now this is going to start filling up these tanks. And you can already see that number, that decimal number, is starting to climb. That is awesome. That didn't used to have that. That's great. Okay, and now that pump's operating, and it will stop operating when the tank reaches a level of 7,000. So we're actually going to do the same thing over here. So that... Let's see, this one we're actually going to produce... more, I think. Alright. Let's bring the water. Let's see. Actually, let's go ahead. Let's see, the water was here on the other one. Okay. Okay, so that one's done. And this one, these plants, as you can probably already guess, are going to crack the light oil into petroleum gas. So... And let's see, we can set, is that right? Yeah, no, that's right, hang on. And then we'll stick another pump right here. And we gotta get power to it. And let's get some lights. Ah, dadgummit. Okay. And then let's connect the output to a single manifold. And let's go ahead, attach it to a couple of spots there. And let us set the parameters, which is going to be, not the parameters, but the recipe. It's going to be cracking light oil into petroleum gas. And let's go ahead and run our green wire. This time, I'm going to run it to the pole and then run it to the tank. That way I can at least kind of read it. So if I put my cursor over that, you can see the green signal with the light oil. It says 22K. So these conditions are going to be, this pump will only run if the light oil measures greater than, if the light oil is greater than 7,000. And set. Okay, so there it goes. It's running. It's producing petroleum gas. Now the only problem here is, again, the petroleum gas, we're going to put it to use right away, but it's going to stop, it's going to fill up very soon, and then that means that when these fill up, the rest of these refiners are just going to stop. But at the moment, that's not a huge issue. Not a terrible issue. So, let us go ahead and think about these plastic bars. Plastic bars and sulfur. And we'll get this, matter of fact, I think we'll stick with the plastic bars first. And I'm thinking, let's see, petroleum gas and coal. Am I right? I'm sorry, yeah, petroleum gas and coal. So that's 0 space, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in coal on this belt, and I'm going to put out plastic bars on the other belt. So we could do that, like that. Okay, so let's bring down the coal. Honestly, we've got an iron patch right over there, which makes me think, if you look over here, we've got this iron patch, which kind of makes me think that maybe we could, because what do hand grenades require? Hand grenades require iron plates, so maybe we could set up a dedicated, maybe we could set up a dedicated iron plate production just for grenades and some of the other military stuff we're going to need. That's a thought. Okay, now we're going to cross over what may be a potential path for the railroad tracks. And if that's the case, we might want to mitigate that right now. Okay, so let's see if I can get it to, there we go. All right, and boom, there we go. Why is it doing that? I wonder. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. That patched it up. The way these railroad tracks interact with one another can be a little weird sometimes. So let's actually throw our rail signals down. I anticipate that this bit of track will be used probably to help service our bootstrap factory at some point. So I'm going to go ahead actually and use our undergroundies to make way for the railroad tracks. Alright, even though we're not going to use the railroad tracks, just we know they're there. We know they're going to be there, so let's make allowance for that. Okay, so what did I say we're going to need here? Petroleum gas, yes. Let's go ahead. So right now we got nothing taking our petroleum gas. And petroleum gas is going to be well used, so let's get started on it now. Right to there. There we go. And Let's get her connected. Let's see. That should be fine. Or, better yet, actually. Will that work? I'm not entirely sure that will work. Let's see. No, it's gonna have... No, what I did before is gonna have to work. I was thinking maybe... I would use 2 sets of red inserters and 1 of blue inserters. Because we need red inserters on... When you put belts parallel like this, and you've got... and it's servicing stuff on both sides of the belt, you're going to need those, when 2 belts, I should say, when 2 full belts service one side of one facility, you're going to need to use long-handed inserters. But long-handed inserters are not nearly as fast as, like blue inserters. You know what? No, that makes no aesthetic sense. Let's bring it down this way. There we go. And... okay, so the red handled inserters are there. Okay. Keep thinking that what I'm doing is wrong here, and I'm not sure why. Okay, I guess that's gonna work. Let's go ahead and drop some lights. And I'm actually going to bring these into a box. Again, another iron chest for Bentham. He hates iron chests. He thinks it's heresy. Because his logic is, why in the world would you use an iron chest? If you just need to make a small chest, just use a wooden chest. If you need a larger one, okay, let's set up for plastic bars, then just use a steel chest because it's bigger. So, anyway, so everybody kind of gives him crap about it. Alright, so there we go. Our plastic bars are being made. While we're at it, I think we ought to be thinking about our, no, I think we ought to be thinking about our sulfur as well. And sulfur requires water and petroleum gas, am I right? Okay, what's our water situation? Because we're using the water for cracking now. Okay, yeah, water is keeping up, I think. We're using the water for cracking, so along with the advanced refining. Okay, motors are not automated at this time. So let's check sulfur. Oops. Is... dadgummit. Okay, water and petroleum gas. So let's go ahead and set up 4. Again, I know the ratios, there are better ratios, but this is just what I've always done. And let's go ahead and set up 4 sulfur crystals, but we're going to need 2 fluid inputs. Right? Water and petroleum gas, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Oh no, this is, okay, 1, that's 1 space, 2 space, there we go. Okay, so we're going to do a thing. It's going to look a little goofy, but this should work. Okay, yeah, that should work. So, petroleum gas goes in here. And then water. Okay, that should feed all of them. And then... let's go ahead. Okay, so water comes this way. So we're gonna have to string water from here. Right there. Let's see. Again, guys, the spaghetti is real. I'm all about the spaghetti. Okay, so... yeah, is that right? Yeah, that's right. There we go. Okay. So we are producing now. And let's go ahead and drop our utility poles. Alright, yes, we've got sulfur. And we're actually going to put these into crates also. And that'll give us a production buffer for when we actually do get to using them. So there we go. We've got plastic, we've got sulfur, we've got our beginnings of blue science, and then we'll also, next time around, I think we'll work on the motors, because we need engine units. I've made some. How many do I have on me? Probably, I've got a few. Got a few. I can't make any chemical plants just yet because I don't have enough copper, plastic, or sulfur. Although I could scarf up some of those. Maybe we can finish up our, yeah, you know what? Maybe we can finish up our lubricant. Alright, so if I grab that, and then engine units I've got. And now, so we're going to go grab some copper. I've got lots of green chips. But my goal here is to just kind of throw together some blue science. Did I set up... I probably did not set up a plant just to make copper coils. Whatever. Oh, can't have any more copper plate. Let's go ahead and make a whole bunch of red chips. And again, what do I need for science? It needs 3 chips per 2 science. Okay. 1 engine unit per science. And lubricant needs 50 blue science. So yeah, we will be able to knock lubricant out. We just need our stuff. So let's make our way over to the science. And we'll have to redesign our science lab. I mean, I've got a design in mind. It's worked for me many times in the past, but it's just very resource intensive, and I don't feel like putting it together just yet. Oh, we're actually going to need... Oh, no. Okay, no, it already subtracted the ingredients from my inventory already. Okay, that's not a problem. Do I have any blue assembly machines? Yes, I do. I'm trying to see if there's any way I can offset, I can off-put the production of red science. Or, red chips, if I could offset it to a machine, but... meh. Oh, no, nuts. Nuts. I actually can't make more science until all the red chips are made. Fudgicle. Let's go ahead, keep putting more in the queue. I'm not so sure that's going to be enough. I'm not so sure that's going to be enough blue science. When it's finally done producing, I don't think that's going to be enough. We need 34 additional blue science. And I think we're not going to end up. I would need to get the count up to 17. And I don't think it's going to go that high. Maybe it will. What am I out of? Not plastic bars. I'm out of copper, right? Yeah, I'm out of copper. Alright, come on, let's work on some blue science. It's going to actually take a while to make that science, son of a biscuit. Yeah, oh yeah, she's going slow. She's going so slow. No, that's a dumb solution. No, I was thinking maybe I would actually like send up just a thing right down the middle that would send the blue science all up in there, but nope, I don't think so. Oh, you actually have to put it in the right spot? Oh, that seems kind of lame to me. Okay, so getting some more lubricant done. Well, it's as I thought. The science packs that I made were not going to be enough to get through the remaining science. And where are we at for power? Not much. Okay, let's take a look down at our oil refinery and see where we're at. Okay. Heavy oil is down to 7K, just like it should be. Very interesting. Okay, good. You know, one thing we can also do, if we wanted, you can set up conditions by which the train station will operate. We could actually set up conditions, for example, where, you know, if the oil drops, if the oil is full, if the oil tanks are like, let's say 24 out of 25 or higher, you can turn the station off, and that will keep the train from burning unneeded fuel. The only thing is, I don't know if you can bring two conditions into play. For example, the station will only operate if, like, if the oil level drops. Like, what if the water level drops? You know. So I guess we'd have to determine which is the most needed fluid, which fluid drops the fastest. We could sit here and probably watch them, but and then say, well, you know what, the water level drops the quickest, so that would be the one that, you know, we would want to have the train station monitor. If the train station could see, like, for example, let's see, can I make any more cables like that? No, not really. We could have it set up so that the whatever tank goes the fastest, when that tank drops to a certain level, then the train station turns on, and therefore, by default, summons the train. So we could do that. That might be something to think about in the future. And right now we are... Oops, daggone it. We don't have any blue science to put in yet. Just want to close out this lubricant research. I didn't quite realize when I started researching lubricants that we were tapping blue science, or I wouldn't have done it. Oh, you know what? Let's place, while we're waiting for that to marinate, let's go ahead and place one more set of radars. I did not realize that this whole section over here was not being monitored. So let's fix that. When I say monitored, it's what I'm saying is that I didn't realize that we actually couldn't see this section on the map because we didn't have a radar watching it. We didn't have a radar in that vicinity. Works out well. It's a good habit to get into, to be able to see your entire base. Okay, again, power. We're way low right now. Power is not being consumed very much because petroleum is full, light oil is full, and heavy oil is sufficient. We'll just call it that, which means these refineries are not really going to be doing much operation. There's a little bit of a trickle of petroleum gas being used to produce plastic, but otherwise it's not being used. Okay, so science is sciencing. Oh, I hate hand jamming science. Are these going to turn off? Yeah, they just turned off. Okay. It takes just a hair too long. It produces science 2 at a time, and it takes just a hair too long for me to put science in the labs. Actually, not just a hair too long, it takes a lot longer than that. The science labs go through the science quicker than we can make the science in hand. There we go. Yep, then it disappears. So can we keep... We can't get six labs operating at the same time. I was trying to do that. Okay. Yeah, now we got 4. We can operate 4 at the same time. That might just finish up our lubricant research. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe not. I don't think it's going to do it. Looks like we might have to make one more science drop. Or no. Yes. No. Oh, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. It's going to be close. This might do it. This might be our 50 right here. This one. Boom. There we go. Yes. Okay, cool. So let's set the research back to just the normal red and green that we've been doing, and let's get gates started. Okay, something simple that'll blow right through that like crazy. All right, guys. So I think that's going to do it. We've been at it for an hour or more, so we'll go ahead and do that. I'll get this edited and up for you guys. And yeah, think about what I asked. Think about what I said. And if you've got any other ideas, it's we're here. We do this for fun, but at the same time, people are watching it, and you've given almost 100 of you have put me on your list. So let me know if you'd like to see something else, and I'll try to see if I can't make that happen. Well, all right, guys, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.